Welcome to the masterclass. Today, we are stepping into the dojo. Look, this isn't just another standard math review where we passively stare at formulas. No, this is a strategic, high-performance training session designed to completely transform how you approach Cambridge mathematics. We are zeroing in specifically on solving those incredibly tricky problems involving arrangements and selections. Permutations and combinations. Now, whether you're tackling standard IGCSE, additional math, or hitting those specific syllabus codes like 0580, 0606, 4024, 4037, or even 4040, the core principles, and more importantly, the examiner's expectations, remain firmly the same. Today, we're going to rewire your analytical mind. We want you approaching these papers not just as a stressed-out student, but as an examiner. Let's get to work. The syllabus actually makes one thing abundantly clear, and it's the core philosophy of our dojo today: flow like water. Top-performing students don't just blindly memorize formulas for NCR or NPR. That's a rookie move. Instead, they exhibit a deeply connected conceptual understanding. So what does that actually mean for you in the exam hall? It means your knowledge has to transfer seamlessly to completely unfamiliar contexts. One minute, you might get a question about arranging a set of encyclopedias on a shelf, and the next, you're hit with a highly abstract algebraic polynomial puzzle. If your understanding is rigid, if you're just relying on memory, you'll freeze. But if you truly grasp the underlying principles of when to select and when to arrange, you can adapt to literally any scenario the examiners throw at you. You just flow right around the problem. Here's our path to mastery today. We'll start with core principles, move into technical methodology, look at the transformation, jump into an interactive workshop, and finish up with examiner warnings. We're moving from foundational stances straight to advanced sparring. Section 1, the challenge. Let's look at the two radically different ways students tackle this. Every single examination series, examiners see two distinct, entirely flawed approaches to permutation and combination questions. First up, we have Alex. Now, Alex panics. The second they see a complex word problem, they overload the answer space with raw mathematical facts. They're just writing down every factorial and formula they can possibly remember, crossing their fingers and hoping the examiner will magically pick out the right one and award a mark. It's a complete data dump. They totally lack systematic analysis. Then, on the other end of the spectrum, we have Sam. Sam thinks they know the answer instantly, so they rush the execution. They completely gloss over the specific command words in the prompt, skip the appropriate formatting, and drop all proper terminology. Listen, the Cambridge academic benchmarks strictly require logical, structured reasoning. The assessment framework prioritizes analytical depth over superficial breadth. Alex's frantic data dump won't work, and Sam's rushed, messy scribbles definitely won't work either. You need a completely different approach. Section 2, the strategy reveal. It's time to learn the technical methodology. Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Okay, let's break down the Cambridge assessment objectives for these topics. They target three very distinct cognitive domains. First, knowledge and understanding. Do you genuinely know the difference between an arrangement where the specific order absolutely matters and a simple selection where it doesn't? Second, application of principles. Can you take that abstract formula and cleanly apply it to a messy everyday context? And third, analysis and evaluation. This is the black belt level. This is where top students really shine. Top candidates demonstrate their thinking by explicitly showing their logical progression. We call this the Peel framework adapted for mathematics. Point, evidence, explanation, and link. You state your mathematical point, provide the numbers as evidence, show the factorial explanation, and link it directly back to the problem's constraints. Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet for the exam. This is the method mark strategy, and it follows a standardized, foolproof sequence. Step 1, deconstruct the question. What is the actual command word asking you to do? Step 2, extract the relevant data from the text or tables. Get your numbers straight. Step 3, select the analytical framework. Ask yourself, are we using permutations, combinations, or maybe a complex mix of both? Step 4, execute with clear notation. Please don't just write a naked final number. You have to show the factorial working out. And finally, step 5, present with correct terminology and proper headings. I cannot stress this enough. Examiners actively award method marks for exactly this systematic process. Even if you punch the wrong button on your calculator and your final calculation is slightly off, demonstrating this strict sequence proves your conceptual understanding and secures those absolutely crucial method marks that Alex and Sam are leaving on the table. And that brings us right back to our guiding principle: connected understanding. It's the ability to transfer the fundamental mathematical principles of permutations and combinations to entirely unfamiliar, everyday, or algebraic contexts. When you open up that exam booklet and you see a bizarre scenario you've never, ever practiced before, maybe it's arranging specific letters of a made-up word or forming a complex polynomial with a specific selection of coefficients, do not panic. You fall back on the method mark strategy. The context is just the vessel. Your mathematical principles, those are the water that fills it. Flow around the obstacle. Section 3, the transformation. Let's see how we actually earn those marks. Consider a completely flawed approach. I call these naked numbers. It's when a student just leaves generic calculations floating around in the answer box, completely devoid of any headings, labels, or context. If an examiner looks at that, they have to play detective to guess your thought process, and they hate doing that. Now compare this to a mastered approach. The master uses clear annotations defining exactly what is being calculated at every stage. For instance, clearly labeling arrangements of consonants on one line and then arrangements of vowels on the next. The format is totally appropriate, using correct factorial notation, and the reasoning is mathematically justified step by step. By structuring the math like this, you dramatically elevate your response. You are effectively holding the examiner's hand and telling them exactly what you are doing, guaranteeing you pick up every possible method mark along the way. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at Ace the Exams IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to @Ace the Exams IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. Section 4, Interactive Workshop. Time to step into the sparring ring. All right, challenge 1, the data scan. In a real, high-pressure exam context, you need to instantly categorize data and extract relationships literally at a glance. Look at this matrix. In an everyday context, your primary requirement is almost always to extract and interpret the data to figure out the specific arrangements. However, if you're hit with an algebraic context, you are typically being asked to draw evidence-based conclusions based on selections. Your challenge, the very second you see complex conditions in an exam, is to instantly categorize the data type and lock in your analysis framework. Do not even think about starting to calculate until you successfully classified the problem using a mental matrix just like this one. Challenge 2, find the flaw. I want you to visualize a student writing out their reasoning for a complex combination problem. The student confidently writes, the total combinations are calculated. The number is 120. Therefore, this is the best method to use. Okay, think about it. Why is this generic reasoning losing marks? Well, the classic examiner alert is exactly this: students providing generic answers that are not specific to the question context. That sentence fails entirely to link the mathematical point, the 120 combinations, back to the specific context given in the scenario. They completely forgot the link part of the Peel framework. They didn't state what those 120 combinations actually represent or why that number satisfies the scenario's unique constraints. Always, always link every mathematical point explicitly back to the given scenario. Challenge 3, the speed writing challenge. Listen, in the exam, time is your absolute greatest enemy. You need to be able to structure your mathematical working rapidly. Problem solving in these topics requires a very specific flow: deconstruct, solve, evaluate. Visualize structuring a perfect sequence right now in your head. First, identify the given information. Deconstruct it. Break the prompt into logical steps. Second, solve it systematically, showing all your clear factorial notation. Third, evaluate it. Does your final mathematical answer actually make logical sense within the stated constraints of the prompt? Practicing this highly structured format ensures that you will never again just stare blankly at a complex word problem. You'll instantly know how to attack it. Section 5, the final system and examiner warnings. There are 3 classic fatal mistakes students make on examination day when facing permutation and combination questions. Let's make absolutely sure you aren't going to be one of the statistics. Let's review the principal examiner warnings directly from the source. Warning 1, forgetting to include proper format. Guys, you lose such easy marks when you don't structure your working out cleanly. Warning 2, neglecting to check presentation conventions. Does your final answer clearly stand out on the page? Have you used the correct mathematical symbols throughout your working? And warning 3, honestly, this is the biggest one: providing generic answers not specific to the context given. Breaking this rule is like breaking the primary rule of the dojo. Practical application of this mathematics means your answer must reflect the specific scenario. If the question is about choosing a cricket team, talk about the players on the cricket team, not just generic objects or items. Make it specific. To reach true black belt mastery,
You have to move from simply executing basic calculations to actively evaluating the scenario constraints. Descriptive mathematical analysis is just listing the steps you took without any context. It's basic, it's what everyone else does. Evaluative analysis, though, that means justifying your decisions mathematically and explicitly ensuring your model fits the specific restrictions of the problem. Don't just crunch the numbers like a machine. Verify that your permutations and combinations genuinely reflect the complex, messy rules laid out in the prompt. So, let's summarize the ultimate problem-solving flow, the system that practically guarantees top marks if you execute it correctly. 1. Deconstruct the scenario and decode those command words immediately. 2. Solve systematically. Apply the Peel framework, use clear factorial notation, logical steps, and very clear annotations for all your calculations. 3. Check for reasonableness using a time management matrix. Ask yourself, if you calculate that there are more ways to arrange 3 books than there are atoms in the known universe, you've obviously made a mistake. Catch it. 4. Make justified recommendations based on the constraints. This is your master blueprint. Memorize it.
Students who implement these mathematics strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to @aceexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Drop a comment below with your target grade for mathematics and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams, your Cambridge success starts here.
We've covered a massive amount of ground today, from core analytical principles to the technical method mark strategy, and we've directly addressed the most critical examiner warnings. You now have the exact tools the top percentage of students use. The dojo is open. The only question left is this: how will you adapt your style to flow like water in your next examination? Take this exact system, pull up a past paper, and start practicing it right now. Stay focused, stay structured, and I will see you in the next masterclass.